Hey guys, it's Rory with SearchInChow.com, and today is the day after the Xiaomi Mi A2 launch. Now I got to spend a lot of today sort of using the phone, grabbing some photos, and just feeling the device out. So let's talk about it. Should I even use that intro? We'll see. We will see. So when we saw the launch, we were pretty impressed because Xiaomi had upgraded the Mi A1 in a lot of the major categories. And the first one we're going to talk about is performance. So from the Mi A1, the Mi A2 now sports a Snapdragon 660 processor. So it went from what was essentially a budget affordable Snapdragon 625 in the Mi A1 to an upper mid-range sort of processor in the Snapdragon 660. And then now there's also a top spec variant with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage, which is a pretty significant bump in performance. My time with the device was pretty good. Everything was smooth. There were no real lags. It was snappy, and overall I'm pretty impressed with it. The display is also upgraded this time, so the Mi A2 now features a 5.99-inch Full HD Plus display. It looks okay. It looks a lot like the Redmi Note 5 screen, which isn't a bad thing, but it suffers from the same kind of problem as the Redmi Note 5 screen too, where you can't use this phone with polarized sunglasses in portrait mode. If you do that, all you're seeing is just black. You can't actually see the screen. You have to turn it into landscape. And that can be very annoying if you want to use it or if you want to take selfies outdoors and you're someone who wears polarized sunglasses. If not, then this doesn't apply to you, but it was something that I was pretty upset to find out. Then Xiaomi also upgraded the Mi A2 to feature a brand new dual camera setup. So instead of going for the short telephoto plus wide angle lens on the Mi A1, the Mi A2 features two cameras with identical focal lengths. The only difference is one is 12 megapixels with 1.25 micron pixels, which are pretty big, and the other one is a 20 megapixel sensor with 1 micron pixels. So 1 micron pixel might look pretty small, but that secondary sensor is capable of 4-in-1 pixel binning, where it can combine 4 pixels into one large 2 micron pixel sensor to combine two into one large 2 micron pixel to theoretically give you better low light performance. And from my experience today, I was pretty impressed because the photos turned out pretty good, especially in good lighting. So there was very nice colors, there were pretty good contrast, it was sharp, and HDR worked almost all of the time. Sometimes the lighting will be too tricky and then there's really not much the phone can do, but overall I think it did a pretty solid job. When we went into the low light situations, image quality definitely suffered. It wasn't nearly as vibrant or as color accurate as the daylight shots, and the phone took a little longer to take each photo. Still, it's not something that's completely unacceptable. It's still okay and within the ballpark of a mid-range to upper mid-range smartphone camera. So one of the things I was curious to find out about the Mi A2 was how it would handle video stabilization. You see, this smartphone does not have optical image stabilization, but if you go through the settings in the video menu, there is an image stabilization feature. So it uses EIS to compensate for the lack of OIS. So I shot some test footage with the smartphone, and you can see that in 4K, there isn't really any stabilization. The footage is still really shaky despite the fact that the image stabilization checkmark is still enabled in the settings. But if you switch your resolution over to 1080p, you can see a remarkable improvement. The shot is much smoother, it looks a lot less sort of jittery, and overall I think it was a pretty good performance. So performance is good, the camera is good, but Xiaomi upgraded the Mi A2 in one more key factor, and it is always the upgrade that power users are very worried about. You see, the Mi A2 now features an all-new aluminum unibody. So it looks good, it feels much more premium than the original Mi A1, and that's a good thing. But this time, Xiaomi seems to have obsessed with making the smartphone slim. And they did it because the smartphone itself is just 7.3 millimeters thick, and it feels expensive. It's a nice kind of hand feel. It reminds me a lot of the OnePlus 5T, and that is a very good thing because this is going to be around 1,000 ringgit. The OnePlus 5T was well over 2,000 ringgit. However, with this obsession of making the smartphone slim, they sacrificed on the one thing I really care about, and that's battery life. Because in this Mi A2, there is still only a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. Holy shit, is it too dark now? Oh, it's so dark now. What the hell? Well, it got way too dark there. Honestly, this is a little frustrating because we as a society are using our smartphones more and more. We use it for surfing the web, we use it to watch videos, we use it to pay for things, we use it to capture moments. We are using it so much more. And yet, manufacturers seem more inclined to make the smartphones slimmer and sleeker while sacrificing on valuable battery space. So this phone, Xiaomi says, can give you an all-day battery life, but imagine if they could do that with a 3,000 milliamp hour cell, what they could do with a 4,000 milliamp hour cell. I would honestly have been willing to take this trade-off. I would rather sacrifice a couple of millimeters in thinness for a bigger battery that is far more practical to my daily use case. Still, that is only what we've seen on paper. I haven't actually used this smartphone as my daily driver yet, so I won't pass my final judgment on the battery life just yet. That would have to wait for a full review. Unfortunately, battery capacity wasn't the only thing that Xiaomi sacrificed with the new Mi A2's body. They also sacrificed the 3.5mm headphone jack. It's honestly a pain in my butt, but at least we get to keep the USB Type-C port, and this phone does support Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0 fast charging technology, so you can juice up that relatively small battery, or at least you should be able to juice up that relatively small battery in a timely fashion. Yeah, and that's it. Those are all my thoughts and all I have to say for the Xiaomi Mi A2 right now. I think as a whole, Xiaomi did a pretty good job, but I am still very disappointed that they did not upgrade the battery. I would have loved to see a 4,000, maybe 3,500 milliamp hour battery. That would have been great. But the rest of the phone is definitely a significant upgrade. I am so excited to see how much this smartphone will be priced when it eventually comes to Malaysia. So despite my complaints about the small battery and the lack of a headphone jack, I will have to commend Xiaomi on this brand new smartphone because it is a significant enough upgrade that I think even if you have a Mi A1 right now, you might want to upgrade to. It still has a lot of what you like from the Mi A1, like that stock Android experience, and it comes with upgraded internals, upgraded camera, new body. It's definitely a far better smartphone. But I would love to hear your thoughts too. What do you guys think of the Xiaomi Mi A2? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on that notification bell icon so that you know whenever we post a brand new video. Also, like us on Facebook and check out our website. There are always a whole bunch of cool articles there. If you want to know the kind of gear we use to film videos like these, all the links will be in the video description. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!